Hi, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video I'm going to show you around eCampus and MyMathLab, and hopefully help you to get off to a good start in the course. These are the two programs that we'll be using the most, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm signed into Blackboard, and so I'm going to go into our course. Now, there's two sections, 22006 and 22008. Which are essentially the same, so it doesn't matter which course you have. I'm going to go through the section 6 here. So when you come in, you should be on the announcement page, and you'll want to read the announcement. And there's going to be 3 videos. I haven't made the links here, but I'll do that pretty quickly here because one of them is this video. And so that's the announcements. You're going to want to read that. And one of the things it's going to tell you to do is click on syllabus and print out the syllabus. And you'll need to look through that and maybe take some notes or highlight anything you have questions about or that you want to highlight. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And I also have a video where I went over the syllabus, and so you may want to watch that. Let's go ahead and go back. Let's see, gotta be careful here. So next thing we've got is taking an online course. So Dallas College has put together some resources, and they're really nice. Let me just show you real quick. I think this is a really nice introduction to taking online courses, and so I would encourage you to look through this if you've never looked through it before. It's very nice and pretty concise, not real super long, and I think that you'll find it useful. And then if I go back to where I was just at, the second link here is more comprehensive. In fact, this getting started link is, excuse me, is the one I just showed you. There's 4 others as well. So if you want more information, there's plenty of information there. And you may just have certain areas that you want to look at. Let's move on to weekly learning modules, and that's where you're going to be spending most of your time. Now we're going to start here in MyMathLab, which actually has all the same access that to the things that you find in the weekly learning modules. It gives you some more direct links, and there's one thing we need to go in here and do. So let's go ahead and click on MyMathLab. And the first thing you're going to want to do before you get into MyMathLab is click on Browser Check. And it's going to make sure your computer has the plugins and everything you need in order to run MyMathLab without any problems. And so if there are things that it wants you to put in to your system or add to your system, you'll need to do that. And so you want to take care of that. If you click on assignments, this is where you have I currently have the first 2 weeks of assignments up here. And now if you come in here later on, these assignments will have been completed, and you'll just scroll down to the newest assignments. And so that is one way to access your homework and your assignments, but I've tried to organize things for you so it's easier, and you'll do that through the weekly learning modules. You can also access the e-textbook and also the gradebook here, but you'll have the gradebook. Actually, I guess this is where you would come into your gradebook. For your textbook, click on e-text. It takes just a minute to load. And so here's your textbook, and you can click right here, and you have your menu, and you can go to any section you want, like chapter 10. We can go to whatever section we want. We won't actually work in that section. But anyway, so you might want to play around with that, make sure you can get around, but that's a place you can always go to access your textbook. The Math Multimedia Library, this is for all the help materials. So for chapter 1, we'll just say all sections, select all. These are all the PowerPoints, the videos, all the different resources that they have. These are the things that you'll find in my folders for each homework, but obviously it's by section. But let's say we've already gone through chapter 1 and you want to go back later on to one of those chapter 1 sections. This is where you could access those materials. Let's see, you also have this one that says integration support. And if you click on there, this is where you will need to go if for some reason you need to get some help from Pearson because you're having issues with MyMathLab. So hopefully that will not be a problem. Last semester things went very well. Hopefully it'll be the same this semester as well. And so now that I've shown you around there, let's go to the weekly learning modules where you're going to find things in a very organized way. Now the first folder is where I'll put stuff. Actually, let me put it on student view. You can see in the resources folder I put some calculator videos. These are things I want you to have access to the whole semester. Now to get around, you can click here on weekly learning modules, or you can click here, it doesn't really matter, or you could arrow back. So let's click on weekly learning modules and let's go to week 1. And so this is what needs to be done the first week. So these are your assignments that need to be completed by January 24th. And so there are some videos that MyMathLab put together. You may see some that are of interest to you as far as online learning or learning how to be a college student. So these are optional, but they're there for you if you're interested. And you can go in here and it tells you how to enter answers in MyMathLab. It'll show you how to plot points and how to do some basic graphs. If you feel like you are a little nervous about, putting in answers and stuff like that, I would encourage you to look through that. Or if at some point you start having problems, I'll open up these sections so you can come back anytime during the course. Let's go into section 1.1. So at the very top, you're going to see the video that I do, and this is based on my notes for this section. This is the material I usually present to my students when I'm face-to-face, and so I've made a video for each section. And then the stuff below here, you have videos, you have a link to a PowerPoint and a link to the textbook, so you can actually read the textbook and look at examples in the textbook. This is all for you to use in whatever way will be best for you. My recommendation, of course, is to use the video that I prepared, and in fact, these are the videos that you'll find if you click on the help buttons while you're doing your homework. So I think it's going to be really important the first couple of weeks to see what works best for you. But again, I would encourage you to start by watching my videos, and I think you'll find they will prepare you quite well for the homework you're going to be doing. I'm not saying I cover every single type of problem that you'll run into, but I do try to cover all the most important points. All right, let's go to the homework. So let's go back to week 1, and now the section 1.1 homework. So let's go ahead and notice it's 1.1, section 1.1. It's due on the 24th, right before midnight. It's got your score. You can attempt each problem as many times as you want. And notice if you're late at turning it in, it's not turned in by the 24th, it would be half credit. Now remember, that is only up until the day of the test. After test 1, you'll no longer be able to get into this homework. And so it's very important that you're getting everything done at the latest by the day of the test. All right, so let's go ahead and click on question 1 here. And actually, you know what? I think I want to go to section 1.3. It was a better section for me to show you some things. Let's see, was it section 3? Let's try section 3. I think I might be wrong, but we'll see. Let's see. And maybe this isn't the section I want to do. Let's go to a different one. There's some things I want to show you. The first few sections, it's a little limited. So you have access to all these assignments, but I also give you, I try to give you 2 weeks at a time, so you can work a week ahead. Other than when test days come, you can work about 5 or 6 days ahead as far as taking the test. Let's go to, let's see, the weekly learning modules, week 2. So let's do section 4.1. Let's click on number 1 here. And here we go. So first of all, let's just go ahead and say 20. 4 to the 5th power is not 20, it's 5 4s multiplied. In fact, I don't even know that one by heart. So 4 to the 5th power. So I'm going to go ahead and check answer. And notice it's wrong. And let's go ahead and give another wrong answer. We'll say 25. Of course, that's wrong. Notice it says final check. Whoops. So let's say 10. And of course, that's wrong. So I have a choice. I can go on to the next question, or I can actually get a similar question, another problem. And so now I have a chance. Notice my problem has been marked wrong. So we have 2 to the 7th power, which is 128. And notice now I'm good. So hopefully you notice you had a green check. If you arrow back, you can see that. And so the other thing I want to point out is when you're in here, you can click on question help. It's got to help me solve this. It'll help you solve this particular problem, and then it'll give you a new one. Or you can view an example and just read through the example and then come back and do this problem. You can go to the textbook. Now StatCrunch we're not using. That's a program for working with stats. And then this is where you'll click if you have a question on any homework problem. You can write a little message and then send that off to me. And the nice thing is I have the homework problem and I can write down a solution, or sometimes I'll make a video and I'll send you that back. But that's the easiest way to ask me homework questions. And or at least that's certainly one way. You know, obviously a problem like this, it's no big deal. With word problems and more complicated problems, it's nice to be able to do that. All right, so let's see, let's see if I've covered everything I want to cover here. I'm going to go ahead and arrow back. And let me go back to week 1. Yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to cover here. So again, these are the things you need to cover this first week in order to get certified as participating in the course. So you can click here and you can send me emails. If you click on my grades, of course, your grades will be in there. I update eCampus every time we have a test. So usually the week after the test. And then let's see, let's click on resources. These are some resources, library, There's some databases you have access to, disability services, accessibility, student services. So you may want to check out those to see what's there to help you. You can click on the help button. It's mainly help with eCampus and Blackboard, which are essentially the same. And then if you click on learning materials, now I haven't found this page to be all that useful, but apparently it's supposed to have all the books or materials for each of your courses all in one place, so you'll have access to that. If you click on here, you can have access to tutoring. Whenever I have my tutoring sessions, for you guys, it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m., and then 4 to 4:30 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you click on Math Tutoring Center, we also have tutoring at the campus. Although I'm not sure if they're actually at the campus, but you can get online help, and all you need to do is follow the directions here, and you can sign up for tutoring and use it as much as you would like. It's nice to have places to go when you need help. You can come to me. If I'm not available, this is another option that you have. And then finally, this is a link for the division office where you can meet with them virtually and they can help you out with whatever you have questions about. And I think that is everything I have for you guys. So if you have any questions, if you run into any problems, please don't hesitate to ask for help. It's so important that you get off to a great start. So if you're having any problems, make sure you get help, even if it's from another student. Just make sure you do something to, make sure you get started off on the right track. All right, well, I hope you have a great semester, and I hope that was real helpful. You have a great